Poultices are next. Now, poultices you can do in the wild. Check this out. I actually had to do this today. You guys, I got a spider bite, and I'm not sure what kind of spider it was, but it looked like a baby black widow. So, taking precaution, I made sure that I could find some plantain. The plantain flower looks just like this. And there's a whole bunch of them that stick straight up. Aren't those funny looking? Little seeds come out of it. So I was looking for these little things poking up in the grass frantically when I was at the pool where the spider was that bit me. And then these are the leaves. So the leaves are what you use. The flower is typically what you try to find the plant very fast. The leaves are so important. These are amazing for pulling out infection. They have parallel lines, which means that all the lines are parallel. I mean, you don't have the typical leaf coming out, regular signs. That's because this is a monocot. And the leaf can just be made into a poultice. When you're in the wild, there's a couple ways to do it. You can just kind of roll it like this between your fingers. You can also, if you have washed it, which I pre-washed this, I even put out my Vitality mat, you can chew it up, and then you have your spit in it. There are healing properties to your saliva. So either way, you need to bruise it up and get it to the point where the juices of the plant are coming out. I don't know if you can see the green on my fingers in the film. But that is what will then go directly on. So let's say my spider bite was right here. I would just place that like that. Now I can either keep that on, or I can kind of bandage it on. You can put a Band-Aid over this. You can put lots of other things over this. Gauze can work. Gauze tends to absorb it a little bit, so a bandage is better. Or if anybody's seen those vet wraps before, those are really cool. Vet wraps you can stick over it, and anything to keep it in place. If you got nothing else but you're at home, put some saran wrap around it. That works just fine. You can also paint the juice on there, let it dry. As long as you're getting the juice onto the area, it is a really good idea to just let that stay there. This is a classic poultice. Now, moving to a poultice that you would make out of things in your cupboard, typically you're going to make a poultice and it's going to be either 50% slippery elm or marshmallow root or Redmond clay. Just imagine some Redmond clays here. Redmond clay is also called bentonite clay. And so we're going to make this with slippery elm, which is the most common base for a poultice. And when I say base for a poultice, it's because you typically do 50-50. You're going to take an herb and mix it half and half with one of these guys. So the slippery elm, I'm just going to put on here. I've got half a tablespoon. I happen to have some of this plantain in a leaf powder. And so, if you didn't have the plantain in the wild, this is how you do it. Half with slippery elm and half with plantain. And you simply mix your herbal combination together of how you're going to make the poultice. And once that's mixed, it's really simple. What do you think you have to do to make this into a paste, students?
Water.
Yeah, just add water. It can be distilled, it can be purified. Worst case scenario, this is okay to have regular tap water. Can you believe I said that? But as long as it's a pure and clean water. Why? Because you're putting this on externally. You can make this into a dough, which would then stick better by itself, or you can make it into more of a paste. And so you just keep adding water until it's your desired consistency. There's other fluids that you can make a poultice out of. If you want to boost it and put in other things, some people use colloidal silver as a base. Some people use an essential oil in water mixture. This water actually happens to have some colloidal silver in it and some aloe, and it has some essential oils like lavender in it because it happens to be our burn spray, which I will demonstrate today as well. Doesn't that look yummy? It looks like mud. So we're going to play in the mud today. And if that spider bite were still here, I still have some of that green stuff on there. The way I would use this poultice is simply put it here and then wrap it with something. Honestly, the best thing is just to use saran wrap. Stick the saran wrap on it. That way it doesn't get into your clothes. It doesn't rub on somebody when you give them a hug or other weird things. And the poultice will eventually dry out, and then you just add some more. So you can keep this in the fridge, just like you can keep the sore throat remedy or other preparations in the fridge for later if you make a bunch. And you can just reapply, reapply, and reapply. It doesn't have to be washed off in between, but you can. So, any questions on poultices? Okay, that's how you make a poultice.